Don't count out Casey Drake in that 87. He's right.
One more lap to go here at Indy. He ran him all the way from 3 seconds back. 2 laps to go. Oh, Aldo gets spun. Oh, Metchu gets the apron. Around goes Drexler. He spins right from the back. Huge wreck. The 2 flies up in the air. It's 3 wide. Oh, what a move by Derek. He wants to go.
Tries to send him up the hill, but can't quite do it.
Now between the 2 is 2 car lengths. Too little too late for Derek and Smith. Oh, Clapper gets turned. Clapper gets turned. Oh my gosh. Side by side. 3 wide at the wire. iSCAR Super Late Model Series presents to you the Five Flags 110 here at Five Flags Speedway down in Pensacola, Florida. Right next to Benjamin's house. Well, yeah, I'm excited. Welcome here tonight for tonight's broadcast. And obviously, my name is Zeke Reyes.
And I'm Dewey Schramm. Welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, I got my good friend right alongside of me. Should be a fun one here for tonight, of course. The finale going to be ran here. 110 laps in total is going to be the race. 55 miles is the length. Pit road speed 35 miles per hour. Fuel window 70. But yeah, just get track facts out of the way and such. But currently we're looking at the top 3 in practice, and Mulrooney, Yost, and Drake round them out in the top 3 as of right now. So, Dewey, what are you expecting here for tonight?
I'm expecting a crazy one because there's money on the line for this race. As I believe you said, it was $5 for the winner of this race tonight, and then $10 for our series champion.
Right.
So even the guys that aren't in contention in points, there's still money on the line for them. So I'd expect a lot of beating and begging tonight. And it's going to be a real fun one to watch.
Yeah, speaking of the championship standings, we're going to go ahead and pull up right in front of your screen. Aaron Mulrooney, Carson Poindexter. Those are the 2 people who are going to be contending for this championship here tonight. So just 3 points separate them. Every position is going to matter here for tonight.
Yeah, Harry Grindle is on the outside looking in. There's going to have to be a lot of people that show up tonight for him to have a chance. But yeah, you mentioned those 2. Aaron currently on tops in practice, so he's already showing the strength he's got. But we'll have to see where Carson shakes out in this as well.
Carson right now currently sitting, by the looks of it, 8th. In practice standing, as we're go ahead and drag him into the booth. Actually, he's not in the waiting room. We're gonna go to drag in our good pal, that number 2 of Mulrooney, who's currently leading points, and into the booth he goes. Hey Mulrooney, you got a copy?
Yes.
Hey man, you're coming in here for tonight 3 points above Carson Poindexter, and currently you're leading practice. Pretty sure you're feeling good about tonight.
Yeah, I was practicing earlier with a different gear, and I had to adjust my line, adjust my speed. Car's a little bit tight tonight, but I don't think that'll be an issue if I am able to, properly adjust to it and basically just, run my race and see what happens in the end.
Right, man. It's all to be about attrition. Of course, you coming out here as the points leader, you got to keep yourself 3 points above Carson. How are you going to do that here for tonight?
Just survive and maintain my position and run my race. Everything that happens is just, you got to put yourself in good positions and just, be accurate on what you need to do and just, hope for the best.
All right, man. Before we let you go, any sponsors you want to go ahead and endorse before you get the show started?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Sim Performance Group for creating this awesome car along with Splash Go Graphics and Commonwealth Stain Painting Professionals.
All right, Aaron. Good luck out there tonight for 110 laps.
Thank you.
What you think about Aaron's chances here for tonight, Dewey?
I think he's got the best chance out of anybody in the field. He's been pretty dominant in this series all season long, and frankly every series, but especially this one, as he comes here in the points lead and with the fastest lap so far. So I think the odds are against the field. I think Aaron's got this pretty much under control, at least by the looks of it now.
Yeah, definitely for Aaron. He just recently won last week's race at New Hampshire, so he's coming up off a lot of momentum. Interested to see on how the 2 does. We're going to go ahead and drag in another person into the booth who's not a part of this championship battle. We'll go ahead and drag in the number 54, Grayson Trexler, and you see him right in front of your screen. Hey, Grayson, you got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, man. Sorry to interrupt you. I saw you just rejoined the track, but Grayson, yeah. How you feeling tonight, man?
I mean, the setup is as tight as it could possibly be, so it's gonna be an interesting one to say the least.
Yeah, definitely. With the hour of practice you got before this, I know the gear ratio just changed a slight. Did it change the handling of the car just a bit?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a whole different race car right now. It's gonna be something that everyone's gonna have to learn. It should make for a good race tonight, though.
With the changing car, how are you gonna adapt here for the conditions? Just run it down low and hopefully it stays down there, I guess.
Yeah, the dominant lane's gonna be on the bottom, so as long as you can get to the bottom and hold off people, kind of like that, then you should be good.
Alright, man. 10-4. Good luck out there tonight, and hope to see you up front, man.
Alright.
It's Grayson Trexler as he's getting pounded by all sorts of cars inside. So poor Grayson
I'm just
couldn't
trying
really.
not to laugh while watching him.
Yeah. Oh no, poor Grayson.
I love that though. He's on track trying to get practice. He's just being rammed from all sorts of directions. He's just staying totally calm in the interview. I love it.
Yeah.
He's definitely got his composure in check tonight, and hopefully at the end of the race he still does. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one here.
We'll go ahead and drag in our next person into the booth. It's going to be the number 87 of Casey Drake. Hey, Casey, you got a copy?
Yep.
Hey, man, how you feeling tonight? You see, I see you're running 5th, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much practice for the interview since, like, I don't know. I just didn't get a lot of time to practice for the interview, so I don't know what to say. But for the racing part, I think, I don't know. It's really close field, within like a 10th, I think, from me and 16th. So it's going to be really close racing, and I think qualifying is going to be very important tonight.
Is there going to be a difference on how you're going to run in qualifying versus the race? Or are you just going to run it as hard as you can during the race? So
I think you guys maybe like be a little bit. I'm gonna be a little bit more conservative in the race than I would be in qualifying, because you're trying to push as hard as you can, obviously. But the race, you kind of want to take it easy. Don't wear the tires out too much. But overall, it should be pretty fun.
all right, man. Before I let you go, any sponsors want to go ahead and endorse?
Nope. I don't have any sponsors.
Oh man, we got to get you one. Casey Drake, everybody, hit him up.
Yeah.
Good luck in the race, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's Casey Drake.
I think we should drag Harry into the booth before this race starts.
Oh yeah, the man who came from across the pond. What Dog said, as you see everybody just sort of flailing around into the corner. Oh, if I could find Harry.
There he is. He's in the stall right there.
Oh yeah.
He's the only Renault in the field tonight, so he should be pretty easy to pick out.
There he is. Bad camera angles. Apologies about that. We'll try to get that fixed once we do go into commercial. But we'll go ahead and drag that number 70 into the booth. Hey, Harry.
Hey, Zeke, how you doing?
Hey, man. How are you doing? I see you're currently running 9th.
Yeah, little bit nervous, obviously, since mathematically speaking, I'm in contention for the championship. Realistically speaking, that's not going to happen, but it's always a fun experience to be in this sort of position. So the fact that I've come this far is honestly something I'm really proud of already.
Yeah, definitely, man. Of course, you picked up the win at Southern National Motorsports Park a couple weeks ago. How are you feeling about your chances here tonight?
Well, realistically, like I said, my chances aren't particularly high. I need both Mulrooney and Poindexter to more or less crash and not finish, which, you know, those two have a lot of skill behind their wheels. That's more than likely not going to happen, but you can obviously never say never, so I'm going to go out there, put the wheels to the tarmac and see what happens.
Alright, man. 10-4. Before we let you go, any sponsors you want to go ahead and endorse?
Well, obviously Kamikaze. They've brought me this far, and it's honestly such an honour to be able to race with their name on my car. So, huge shout out to them. And this Renault Sport Megane super late model has just served me so great for this season. So, huge shout to Renault Sport as well.
Alright, man. 10-4. That's Harry Grindle, currently running 9th in practice. Go ahead and good luck for the race.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Harry, one of the week-to-week contenders we see. Here we currently running 3rd in points, and yes, he is mathematically, as he said, he's mathematically in contention for this points championship. You see him right there running 3rd in points. He's gonna have to get a lot of points over Aaron and Carson, but with every position mattering, Harry's gonna have to hope for Aaron and Carson to have some sort of issue.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where you really don't wish any bad luck on other people, but if you're in Harry's shoes, you kind of do at the same time. But up here, I'm rooting for Harry. Harry's a really good guy to root for, and of course, I wish no ill incidents or anything on Aaron or Carson, but
Right.
it would be interesting to see if Harry could pull himself a little closer in points as the race goes on and see how it all shakes out.
Some other drivers sitting up here, not in contention for the championship, but some surprise names up here. Of course, Darius Dadgar, Seth Hood, William Schmidt. I know Schmidt, I don't even know how many starts he's made. He's only made about like 5 or 6, and it's, of course, a 10-race season. Schmidt's already made himself in the 6th in points, so maybe if he ran the whole season, he would have been up there.
I'm really impressed with Seth Hood, as he's an iSCAR rookie this season. He's been pretty, in contention pretty much every week in this series. Finds himself 5th in points coming in tonight, so he's not really he's not mathematically in the championship hunt, but overall he's had a really solid season for what's ended up becoming his first full season here.
Yeah, he currently running, there he is right in front of your screen, that number 69 is Seth Hood, currently running 22nd in practice right now, just getting some time on the racetrack, trying to get used to the car. Seth was very contentive this whole season. He's really competitive. I wouldn't be surprised to see that number 69 go to the front here tonight.
And it looks like practice is wrapping up here as they're all messing around now, but looks like Aaron Mulrooney, your points leader, is going to round out the charts here in practice, as we're going to go into qualifying here shortly, but Mulrooney definitely with a solid start here for his night.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned, we're going to go ahead and step aside and play the national anthem. Rise out, remove your hats as we salute our nation's colors. Welcome here back alive for the iSCAR Super Late Model Series for the Five Flags 110, and currently sitting on top of the board is one surprising man. The man we just interviewed, number 70 of Harry Grindle, is currently sitting on top. So glad to see him show some speed here in qualifying.
Yeah, obviously a lot of the people in the field have yet to make a lap, Aaron Mulrooney included, who led practice, but even for now, Harry being up there with about half the field taking a time so far has got to feel pretty good.
There's Aaron scooting himself out on the racetrack, weaving in and out, trying to get those tires warmed up. Works himself down the back straightaway. This is the person we're going to be watching for, because of course Aaron coming in here, only 3 points above where Carson is. That's going to be the talk of today's race, and how Aaron will survive this race and come out as champion.
And you mentioned tires right there. This is one of those cars on the iRacing that yet has not does not yet have the new tire model.
Right.
So these guys, especially ones that may not have raced yet this season or haven't raced in a while, that do a lot of other series and different car types, will have to readjust themselves to what they used to race here tonight, as it's no longer what they use overall in the on the system.
Hopefully you'll get it updated as you see a new name work itself at the top of the board. That's the 156, Brandon Wilkinson. It's been a while since he's run a couple of races here in the iSCAR Racing Series. Glad to see that 156 on top of the board, and you saw right there the 2 Mulrooney just beat out the 70 of Harry Grindle. So Grindle is unfortunately going to fall back to 3rd.
Still a solid starting spot for now, though, provided he doesn't get past anybody else. But I see that one of Carson Poindexter. Now he's on track. So we'll have to see where he lands. Ooh,
15th.
That's... No, I'm sure that's not what he was looking for here, but... So Carson's going to have some work cut out for him here tonight, because that is, I'm sure, not the ideal lap he was looking for.
And for a couple more. Alright, you mentioned Casey Drake. Scoots himself out on the racetrack. He's going to log in as fast too. But man, Carson with not a great qualifying effort, and that means he's going to have to work himself through the field as Casey tags the wall and he crosses the start-finish line. That will mean, fortunately for Casey, he's not going to be able to log in a lap.
Looked like he slowed down to maybe try and go backwards, but not fast enough. But
right, and he crossed the start-finish line too.
Before we all got quarantined and stuff, that does happen in real life. Austin Dillon at Phoenix, about a month ago now, believe it or not, I believe hit the wall or spun out in his qualifying lap and went backwards across the track and said, you know what, I'm going to try this again, and it worked. So definitely seen before. Is
not like that. Not like that.
Well, Liam Sheen is driving like the paint scheme he's running, as I believe that's the paint scheme that says I'm not going to win all over it. Oh yeah, it is. So Liam's getting ready for the race here.
Fantastic.
And he actually outqualified Carson. I'm sure not driving like that, but decent enough lap for Liam, as qualifying will wrap itself up here, and that 156 of Brandon Wilkinson is your pole sitter, so congrats to him. And now we're going to take a look at the starting lineup before we get rolling.
Rounding out row number 1, going to be Brandon Wilkinson and Aaron Mulrooney. Right alongside of him, of course, that number 2 coming in here as your championship points leader.
And in row number 2, we've got outside championship contender Harry Grindle, and to his outside Keaton Jones in the 77.
Row number 3 going to be Scott Yost and Grayson Shrexler on the outside in that P6.
Scott Yost will be sponsoring this series next season, so thank you for him for doing that for us. Row number 4 will be Luke Daniels in the 94. I believe this is his first start here.
Right.
And he was outside the 96 of Brandon Sampson.
Row number 5 going to be Brandon Warwas and Jackson Hartman, rounding out the top 10. So the rest of the order is going to be shown on your screen. Find your favorite driver, and hopefully he'll win it here for tonight. Got a lot of personalities outside this top 10. Of course, Liam Sheen, one of them.
James Youngman won a few weeks ago. The name of the track's slipping from my mind. Yeah. But yeah, Youngman does have speed, and he's shown it this season. So watch out for him. David B. Smith, he hasn't raced in a while either. Good to see him back as well.
Alright, and here we go, getting ourselves set for tonight's race. The race analysis is going to be shown on the right-hand side of the screen. The length is 110 laps, 55 miles are going to be ran here on this half-mile racetrack. Pit road speeds 35 miles per hour. Pit window is every 70 to 75, so there's going to be at least one required pit stop in this race. It's just a matter of when these drivers are going to pit.
A little bit of a stack up on the start, I think, right here. Not sure what that's all about. Fortunately, we're not going green this time, so that can sort itself out. But as we've got the 1 to go, and the drivers are looking to warm their tires up just a bit before we get going here, I think we're in for a good one.
Now just joining us here for tonight, iSCAR Super Late Model Series 5 Flags 110, getting set to go green this time by. First time iSCAR has been on MSTV, so glad y'all could tune into the broadcast here for this one as the pace car scoots itself onto pit road. Brandon Wilkinson, the 156, will lead them to the restart. And we're green here at 5 flags.
And Harry Grindle starts it off with a little bit of a blink. Hopefully that's not a pertinent issue throughout the race, but possibly something that the drivers have to watch out for. And we already have a caution.
All right, that was very, very early. I didn't expect that, and it looks like Brandon Warwas and James Hill involved in this one. So we will go on to caution really, really early. That's unfortunate.
Looks like the 94 of Luke Daniels also got a piece of that as well.
Ooh, looks like the 82 got into the 94. It's Brandon Warwas and I think the 94 of Luke Daniels. You're right.
95 of Jackson Hartman got a piece of that as well, unfortunately. So 3 or 4 cars with at least a little bit of damage here on lap 1. Yeah, right there, and then you'll see Hartman gets right in the back of Warwas and hits him again. James Hill stops just in time.
Got her under caution. Lap number 1. Hopefully not going to be foreshadowing how this race will be.
Agreed, but with some money on the line tonight, might stay that way. We'll have to see. As the winner of tonight's feature race here at 5 Flags will receive $5, and the champion will receive $10. So there's $15 on the line tonight. So those 2 guys, Mulrooney and Poindexter, could win up to $15 tonight if they can find themselves in victory lane.
Even though it's just a bit of money, money's money, and it'll drive these people and motivate them to race as hard as it can, and unfortunately, it pays the price as we wreck it on lap number 1. Unfortunate to see that, but we'll get ourselves back to rolling green here in just a moment.
I hope that wasn't a pun.
Was it?
You said it paid the
I
price.
just noticed that. I'm amazing. Thank you.
That's bad. That is bad.
Oh, fantastic.
But yeah, money can be the source of happiness, and it can also be the source of anger, and hopefully tonight it's a lot more of the former than the latter. But, you know, we got the race summary up here. Not a lot to go over. Had a caution. We had a green flag lap. That's pretty much all there is so far. But you've got the 1 to green here. So those 2 cars will circle themselves around to the back of the pack. And we're going to get rolling again.
Now the 156 of Brandon Wilkinson has been in iSCAR victory lane a couple of times. It's been a while since he runs this series part-time, but glad to see him on the racetrack. And of course, a very prominent driver, of course, 4,000 I-rating on his name, will lead the field to the restart. Right alongside of him, the kid with 5K, inner points leader. Green flag.
Well, Rooney's able to come down in front of Harry for 2nd place. As Keaton goes way up the hill there out of turn 2, and he might lose his spot here to Trexler, but can't quite get there.
These drivers single themselves down to the bottom line. 1 car really up the track, and they're 2 by 2 around where that outside the top 10. They're stacking up into the corner, and up the track goes Matt McGrath.
Good job for him to keep onto that car, as that could have easily resulted in a spin out. So we stay green for now, but they're still really close to each other. As now McGrath under attack from a lot of different drivers as he's just falling right to the back.
Oh,
no! There he goes!
Yellow flag is out.
I just went from bad to worse.
James Hill scrapes the wall, and we are under yellow once again.
Yikes. Yeah, he was running toward that top 10 area, and yet again, Cade McKee making contact with another car.
Well, Warwas got triggered the first incident, but yeah, the teammates.
Oh, right.
The 2 teammates have been the culprits of both incidents so far tonight, so that's very unlike them as well. But
oh,
actually,
looked like netcode.
Netcode involved there. You see 3 cars end up getting into the wall to miss that one. Luke Daniels and James Hill being 2 of them.
Oh, there might have been. I don't know. Oops. That is.
The 015 of David B. Smith was your other wall hitter there.
gotta delete that. My bad.
I didn't even notice it, whatever it was.
Oh,
Probably
well, it was Streamlabs. I have it hooked up to my KMN still, not MaxspeedTV. I forgot to unhook it from KMN. It's still, it was showing people subscribing to KMN MaxspeedTV. Oh, jeez.
Well, hopefully this series gets this channel more subscribers, as we've got a lot of subscribers on this channel, so hopefully this series can help boost the popularity of the channel and make it a more well-known broadcasting platform.
Of course, STV already known for broadcasting Laura and Nork. Looking forward to showing the world what MSTV is worth. As we cross the start-finish line, it's like still 2 to go.
Yeah, I was totally expecting the lights to turn off there, but not quite yet.
A couple of people hitting pit road. The 82 scoots himself on in, as well as the car right behind him. That's Jackson Hartman. He's actually 2 laps down, unfortunately. Don't know if he got the wave around.
Yeah, Hartman probably had some either optional or required damage from getting into Warwas on that first incident, so unfortunately for him, he's already in a bit of a hole tonight, but not all hope is lost here. We still got 97 laps to go here.
There we go, getting the
Definitely
one to
some
go.
time.
Right. Again, these drivers are still gonna have to pit at least once. Once we hit 70 laps to go, I'd expect a bunch of people to hit pit road and most likely top off on fuel, because this is 50% fuel. Here we go, getting set for the green. Pace car is in. The 156, who has led every single lap from the drop of the green, will lead it.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh,
Whoa!
there's a big stack up on the restart, and someone's going to hit the wall. That's the 8 of Aiden Saunders.
Yellow flag is out.
And we're back under caution once again, right off the restart.
Jeez.
It looked like the whole inside line just didn't go. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, somebody... not really sure. Yeah, they started stacking up.
Oh, Carson got hit by Aiden right there as well.
Right.
Hopefully that didn't put any damage on his car. As if it did, that could be huge for tonight, for this championship. Seth Hood got doored by Aiden as well. Casey ended up in the inside wall. So 3 or 4 cars ended up getting hit in that one, but they're all still rolling for now. As you've mentioned before, these cars are kind of like tanks, so hopefully these guys can just keep on rolling as if it didn't happen.
But of course, the incident limit, only, I think, 17x. Those incidents are going to keep racking up. And unfortunately, I sense some disqualifications coming up.
It'd be a real shame if one of those disqualifications happens to be Aaron or Carson. That'd be something nobody wants to see happen tonight. But
Right.
a lot of early contact here, so in terms of incident points, I don't think anybody's safe.
And Carson already has a 4x, of course, from the contact from the number 8. Luckily, you have to reach 22x to get minus 10 points, which is a penalty. iSCAR implements.
Yeah,
You could go.
Yeah, the 17x is just a pass-through penalty, so while it's not ideal, it's also not race-ending, but even if you do reach 17x, you do have to run the rest of your race, of course, a lot more carefully,
Right.
so you don't end up getting to that 22x, but once you do hit 22, you are disqualified and will suffer a 10-point penalty. So hopefully, none of those 2 championship contenders do get disqualified, because that would be a huge, and honestly awful way to end the season off.
Right. That's why for the people in the points hunt, track position matters a ton. Right now, Mulrooney is in the best of it. Currently running in 2nd place, right alongside the 156. He is right in front of your screen. go ahead and pull up points again, where everybody stands as we're still under caution. Again, Mulrooney only 3 points above where Carson is, and Carson currently running, it looks at only 9th place, so. Where's Carson as they're stacking up on the under caution.
Yeah, Carson still has a lot of work left, or work cut out for him here if he wants to get that championship, but still about 89, 90 laps to go, so he's got a lot of time to do it. But as long as that 2 car stays up front where he is, it's going to be real tough for Carson to get there.
For those of you joining us here tonight, this is the iSCAR Super Late Model Series, 5 Flags 110. For the first time iSCAR has been on MSTV. Glad you could join us here in the broadcast. Again, set to go green, the 156 of Brandon Wilkinson. Gonna lead the field to the start. Here we go, pace car is in, and we're already having a bit of contact over the back of the back of the pack.
Green flag, green flag.
He did the same thing I did.
Oh, horrible. No. Green flag anyway. Buddy keeping each other a bit of room, and Keaton washing up the track. He's got a wreck.
Yellow, yellow,
Moving
yellow.
Sheen around. Oh no,
And-
Carson goes around in front of him. Hopefully he didn't hit the wall, but Carson did go around at the
Wow.
end of that. Here he is.
Oh.
Oh, that was close.
Oh, the 49's gonna run into the one. What is he doing? Oh,
Oh,
no. Oh my goodness.
That was the exact opposite of what Carson Poindexter wanted so far tonight. It says he's going to get more instant points for that now.
Man, that was a huge pileup, and the first one to spin, I think, was a 34 Sheen.
There were a lot of cards in that, yeah.
Now it looks like the 98 of Sampson got into him, and you see there the contact with the 1 of Poindexter.
And there you see where James Hill and James Youngman, the 2 James in the field, ended up down on the inside wall. There you see Carson get into the 96. And there you see the 80 and the 49 also go down the inside wall. Yeah, pretty big wreck. That had at least 8 or 9 cars in it. Almost half the field was in that one,
Man,
in some sort of way.
hate to see big wrecks here very early. Only just about nearly a quarter of the way through the race. As you see the, I think that's the 033. No, it's not. It's Jackson Hartman taking the wave around. He's going to be now 1 lap down.
Yeah, we'll have to see how many incident points Carson accrued in that wreck, because he did. I'm sure he got some.
Right, that's another 4X. But it ain't over yet. He's still on track and still has 4 tires on his car, so.
That's the good part. The bad part is he's going to have to run a lot more, or potentially have to run more conservatively than perhaps he otherwise would have liked to, now that he has those incident points on his record. So if there was any point in the race where he might have had to use the bumper to get by somebody, he may have to reconsider that now with these incident points.
Right. Again, Carson has to finish at least 4 positions ahead of that number 2, Mulrooney, to win the championship. Right now, Carson is sitting in 7th, and Mulrooney is sitting in 2nd. So, championship would go to the 2 if the race were to end right now. Looks like we're gonna get the 1 to go signal. The 84 laps to go. Working on our 4th caution. Only 7 green flag laps. Hate to see that. Here we go. Pace car scoots itself onto pit road, and the 156 will go ahead and nail the throttle down. Get a nice restart over the 2 Mulrooney, and that allowed Keaton Jones to pull to the right next to. Look at the 70 of Harry Grindle. He's going to sail it 3 wide, but the 77 of Keaton Jones pulls himself ahead of the 2, and now the 2 stuck on the high side. And here comes Poindexter.
I was just about to say, check out that 1 car. They're only 1 position apart now, and Aaron came in 3 points to the good, so this is a vital position that Carson's trying to get here. As at the couple spots that Aaron lost, this could be for the championship right here.
Aaron still nailed to that highest side. He's trying to pinch down the one as much as he can, right up off the corner. Looks like Poindexter's going to scoot himself into 5th, and William Schmidt, Harry Grindle, they're all peeking into the mix under that number 2. Mulrooney still stuck at the highest side.
Yeah, Schmidt looking for what's now 6th, and Grindle might be able to get the nose under as well, as Aaron Mulrooney just cannot get to the bottom. And as long as he's up at the top, and now he does, Grindle is a problem.
Trying to scoot himself out of the way. Youngman scoots himself by as the 70's still slow. Gets himself back rolling, but we'll scroll to the front as now the 156 of Brandon Wilkinson is attempting to pull himself away. But you mentioned it, the 1 is in front of that too.
How about Scott Yost in that 85 car? He got 3rd last week at New Hampshire, running 3rd again right now. So Scott's put together 2 really good performances here in the last 2 weeks. And we mentioned earlier he is sponsoring this series next season, so shout out to Scott for doing that. And he looks to be introducing his name in a very good way in these last 2 weeks.
Aaron Mulrooney going to make himself under that number 1 machine as the 1 looks under the 54 Trexler. Looks like trying to make the pass. Looks like not going to happen.
Ooh.
The 1 gets loose off the corner. Here comes Mulrooney. Oh, Poindexter pulled the block on the 2. You have to keep that 2 behind you. You have the chance. Here comes the 2.
Aaron trying.
Oh,
he puts the bumper! And Carson saves it.
Oh, man. That just gave the door open. Oh, no! The 1 goes around!
And he saves it!
Wow! Oh my gosh!
Unbelievable. It's going to put Carson all towards the back of the field, but my goodness, that was a pair of really nice saves by Carson there.
Well, that just, you know, oh boy, there's bound to be future contact between the number 2 and the number 1.
You betcha. I'm sure that's not the last we'll see of those 2 racing side by side tonight.
Right.
Especially with this much on the line.
I took the words right out of my mouth. I was trying to find the words to describe the rivalry between the 2. Right now, all eyes are on the 156 of Brandon Wilkinson. On track to earn himself a bit of cash as you see the 77 to Jones whip it right up off the corner.
Yeah, $5 of cold hard cash are on the line for this race tonight. So even the guys that aren't in the championship hunt definitely still have something to race for here tonight. Is who wouldn't want $5, right?
Right. On board with Brandon Sampson as he's attempting to work himself to the backside of that number 1 machine at Carson Poindexter. Poindexter, honestly, with that damage, he's looking tighter than usual. Nearly tags the wall right up off the corner, trying to hold off that number 30. I mean, not 39. What am I saying? It's 96. As you see a bit of blinking right there in front of your screen, that looks to be, I think, the Cade McKee, number 27, the blinking now.
Yeah, you mentioned Carson getting a bit tight. I'm sure even though he saved his car those 2 little times he got tapped into, I'm sure he still had some tire wear result from that. So if a caution comes out in the next, you know, maybe 10, 15 laps, I would not be surprised to see that 1 car head his way down pit road.
Eyes on the 156 of Brandon Wilkinson as he scoots himself through the corner. Keaton Jones, we'll see his last lap time. Looks like last time by a 10th off of how Wilkinson is running the track. We have a car around on the back straightaway. That's the number 80 of James Youngman. And if he does back up, in which he will, that will bring the caution out sometime later. I'm trying to find a clearing so it won't throw the caution. There he is. He has a clearing now, and
Yellow flag
there's
is
the yellow
out.
flag.
Yeah, it looks like he just towed it back to pit road. Unfortunately, he was out of the way of everybody else, but with him having to back up, of course, it's just the yellow was pretty much unavoidable.
Right. See what happened to the 80. Ooh.
Whoa,
Wow.
Seth Wood. My goodness.
What an avoidance. But the 80 of Youngsman, he tagged the apron. Man, the 69 just avoided disaster.
Yeah, it's a very timely caution for that 1 of Carson Poindexter's. He now has the ability to...
Oh my
man.
gosh.
Yeah, Carson now can come down and put 4 fresh tires, and there you see him. Actually, a lot of the field's pitting here, Mulrooney included. So this will pretty much even out the playing field here for Carson to see if he can make his way back up towards the front again. It's one of the better avoidances I've seen all season across any of the series. That was really impressive by Seth Hood.
Right.
As close as you can get.
Looks like Wilkinson's going to elect on for 4 tires. The number 1 says otherwise. He elects with track position rather than... I mean, he still took tires, but only 2.
That's an interesting call, as tires, especially on short tracks, can be eaten up. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I wonder if he's potentially banking on another caution or whatnot, but definitely interesting to see that call.
Who else banked for 2 tires? That number 2, Mulrooney. See him right in front of your screen, and I think what Poindexter wants to be, he needs to be as close to the 2 as much as he can, so he could have a shot at getting by him. And with the 2 starting, it's like gonna be in 6th place, because there was some people who stayed out. Have to see how this plays in favor of this number 1 of Carson Poindexter.
Well, the numbers make this work better, but I guess with Aaron taking 2, it makes it twice as interesting.
Right.
So we got both title contenders only on 2 tires, and a lot of the other guys on 4, so I wonder... You see Wilkinson actually behind those 2, as he's been the dominant car of the night so far, so I wouldn't be surprised if that 156 quickly moves past these 2.
He's going to be starting behind that number 2, Mulrooney. Oh boy, and how these cars are, I wouldn't be surprised to see contact between these, between that 156 and the 2, because you're so fast on 4 tires, especially in a super late model. So much power.
Right, and as we did have 2 cars stay out, that 34 of Liam Sheen and the 69 of Seth Hood, who we just saw barely miss that crash, both of them are staying out for this restart, and the pace car will dive down pit road, and we are back green here at 5 flags.
Green, green, green.
Liam Sheen will lead the field to the restart. Keaton Jones, the one who elected on with 2 tires, scoots himself to the bottom side of the racetrack, slides off the corner. Luckily, there was no car on the high side, which you could bump into. They're side by side for 3rd, as Trexler is easily going to take that position over the 69 as Seth Hood. Now it's the 1 of Poindexter who's trying to find a slot in line. Unfortunately, he's boxed in behind that 69. Nowhere to go. He's losing all this valuable track position. My goodness. It's just a bad way for this 1 on this green flag 1. Look at that 3 wide action.
Wilkinson gets to 3rd now. The dominant car of the night already trying to get right back up to the front. And there's Scott Yost in that 85 right back in the top 5 again. He's had a really, really good night so far. As it looks like Seth Hood's strategy of staying out has proved to be not a good one, as he's just dropping fast.
Seth actually got moved out of the way by that number 1 of Poindexter, my goodness. And Poindexter shoved himself to the bottom side of the racetrack. He's side by side with a 54, Grayson Trexler on the preferred line. He's mostly going to scoot outside that top 10 momentarily. The 1 of Poindexter falls back to 8th, as the 2 of Mulrooney is now, he's up to 4th.
Here comes Wilkinson looking for 2nd right now on Liam Sheen. Now he's going to have to try and flag down that 77 of Keaton Jones to reassume the lead that he held for almost this entire race up to this point. So Wilkinson wasting no time in getting himself right back up to that lead, and here he comes to the low side.
Yeah, Keaton washed up the track, as we can see a bit of smoke off of turn 2. I don't know if a car spun. Cade McKee has manually disconnected, as you see there. Whoa! Near contact between the 156 and the 77 as they enter turn number 1. And of course the 156 of Brandon Wilkinson with 4 tires on his machine. He was just bound to take the throne.
Looks like Scott Yost is going to have a run here on that 34 of Liam Sheen. That is for 3rd place. And there Scott will go for that position. Like I said a few minutes ago, really, really solid run for him so far tonight. A little bit of wiggle there, but off of his 3rd place at New Hampshire and now tonight. A lot of momentum heading into next season, especially with him sponsoring the series.
Liam Sheen, even though he's on older tires than that, oh my goodness, contact there with the 2 Mulrooney. He wants to pull himself through that 34 who's on older tires, but even though the 34, Liam Sheen, he's on older rubber. And number 2, Sheen drives it to the bottom side of the racetrack, cutting off the 2. Sheen's held his ground, currently in 4th, but he's blocking that 2 and making it a headache for championship points leader of Mulrooney. And look how many cars are stacked up behind him.
Yeah, I was going to say, if Liam didn't let him go like he did right there, the bumper probably would have been used in the not-too-distant future, but Mulrooney finally gets by that 34, and now the 70 of Harry Grindle will as well, despite getting tight right there. And Wilkinson's gone.
Right. He's already pulled himself to a 1 second lead over the 77 Keaton Jones. Jones actually elected on with 2 tires last time by. Brandon elected with 4. Well, look, it's looks like that 4-tire call for Brandon Wilkinson worked out for him, and he's sitting on top.
Yeah, the field's a bit spread out now. At least that top 5 is the top 4 especially are almost equidistant from each other. The real first battle we've got here is Harry Grindle with William Schmidt right here, I believe, for, I want to say, 5th place this is for. Harry, one of those guys, like we mentioned before, really not a realistic contender for the championship, but is mathematically eligible and still within the points range to do it.
Whoa, it's Poindexter!
Oh no! And that should bring the caution out once again. Now it does, and another not good for him. That's second or third time he's been around now.
That's 16x for that number 1 in Poindexter. 1 more X and he's gonna get penalized, and he's now stuck 1 lap down behind the pace car. What in the world was that?
Hopefully that didn't give him another X.
That did.
Oh no. I don't know what that was. I don't know why that even happened. That shouldn't have happened, but so that if that did give him another incident point, Carson will have a pass through on the restart, which is not what he wants at all. But yeah, we'll have to see how this initial incident started and then what that deal was on the backstretch.
Ooh. Like, got tight.
Smacks the inside wall pretty good as well. And we'll have to see what that deal was with him and the 156 of Wilkinson. I'm not sure how that could have happened.
I don't know, Wilkinson just turned on.
That's bizarre. I don't know if Brennan didn't know he was there or what, but that's generally something that shouldn't happen. As Brandon, I believe, did pit on that caution.
Right.
So that will cycle Scott Yost to the lead on this restart, and Mulrooney sits in second right behind him. Still on that 2-tire call from the previous restart. Another guy we haven't really talked about all night, David B. Smith, finds himself up in 3rd. Hasn't raced this series and actually this league in a while, but finally he decided to come back tonight and doing pretty good. So those top 4 stayed out, as those 3 plus the 94 of Luke Daniels did not pit.
Right.
So all the guys behind them, including Wilkinson, will have fresh tires. So now we'll have to see if Brandon can charge his way right back up to the front again, just like on the last restart.
Everything that could have went wrong for that number 1 in Poindexter is going wrong. Now he's stuck in 15th. Oh boy. And he's a lap down as well, so I don't know if he's gonna have to serve the penalty under green.
Well, if he does, that'd put him 2 laps down.
Maybe
and
even 3.
Yeah, that'd be a really bad spot for him. If he goes 3 laps down, I don't know if he can recover from that.
Right.
Unless Aaron has an unforeseen circumstance come up. But if that penalty does have to be served under green, that might be championship ending for that 1 car.
Alright, pace car is going to scoot itself onto pit road. Mulrooney, championship points leader, stays himself out. Head ourselves to the green flag this time by. Green is out. And the 2 Mulrooney looks like he'll clear the 015 and David B. Smith. He'll scoot himself into second, but there's
Daniels goes around into the inside wall.
Keeps it straight.
Like, oh! Hartman as well off the bumper or somebody, but we stay green. Yost still the leader. As here comes Wilkinson, dive bombs that 015 to get past him and actually push him up the hill a little bit. So Wilkinson already right back up to 3rd place here.
He's charging. He took on 4 tires last time by, and he's rolling. Look at the jam up right behind for looks like 5th place. Liam Sheen working around the number 70 of Harry Grindle. With this top four, you could just throw a blanket all under them as the yellow flag is out again.
As you see, Carson actually coming out of pit road after serving his penalty. And I think that's the 94 of Luke Daniels once again. We'll have to see how the caution came out this time.
Oh boy. Oh,
Keaton.
Wow.
On his side. Actually climbs the wall a little bit right there as he just had nowhere to go at all. Hopefully it counts Carson's penalty as being served, even though the caution came out while he was on pit road. Because that would be extremely unfortunate. And wow. Yeah, right up on the wall. But a lot of damage to that 94, of course. And I'm sure that these top 2 might end up pitting this time by.
Pit road's going to be open as the 69 and Seth Hood is going to get the wave around.
So Poindexter only went 1 more lap down, so he is 2 down. So if these leaders do decide to pit, this could be a wave round opportunity, but it looks like they're going to stay out even longer here.
That sucks for him. Sucks for Keaton. He was running up all the way inside that top 3 window before that round of pit stops, of course, happened, and that 77 had a clean car until he got hit by that number 94, Luke Daniels. So you see Luke right behind him. Boy, if that was real life, I'm pretty sure both of those drivers would get out of their cars and have a bit of a confrontation, but luckily this is virtual. You wouldn't like to see 2 people fist fighting in pit road, but whatever.
Which driver was it from the Pro Invitational that said they wished iRacing would add the middle finger feature to it? Was it Bubba?
Bubba, yup.
Because one of them said it.
Yup.
I'm sure that some of the drivers in here wouldn't mind that feature either.
That'd be awesome, but at the same time, that button would be abused. Because so many drivers would be flipping each other off. Oh man, I just imagine during official races, just seeing the middle finger. My gosh.
It's like the chat box at the top, you just see a string of middle finger emojis just going across the top of the screen. that would be something.
Oh man.
As we've gotten the 1 to green, so those top 2 of Yost and Mulrooney will in fact stay out for this restart. And David B. Smith also staying out despite losing those spots on the restart. So we'll have to see how Wilkinson decides to approach this and if he'll be super aggressive on the restart or not. But with the way he's raced tonight, I would not be surprised if somebody gets the bumper in front of him.
Here we go. Pace car's on the pit road and green flag yet again. The 85 with a nice jump over that 156 of Wilkinson, and Wilkinson to the bottom side of Mulrooney. Oh, look at the 70 of Grundle trying to shove his nose at the underside of that too. Can't really do it though. Mulrooney will get to keep 3rd as they're side by side for 5th. 3 wide in the back for 7th. And
that might be a problem here into turn 1 as Smith's going to get tight right here.
Oh!
Whoa! Can he hang on? Yes, he can.
Wow, what a save by Schmidt. That was amazing.
That could have been really bad, but we avoid more trouble. And here comes Wilkinson looking for the lead past that 85 of Scott Yost, and looks like Yost will give him the bottom here into turn 3. Maybe, nope. Looks like it, but not quite.
Yost is running a more traditional line, and here comes Wilkinson to the bottom.
Yeah, Wilkinson's just been so dominant tonight, and he will assume the lead once again here. As Yost tried to cross over but couldn't quite get his nose underneath that 156 to do it. And now Mulrooney's going to look for second and pick up another point towards his championship with just about 25, 26 laps to go. So time is winding down for that one to get back up there.
Well, the 70 of Harry Grindle got loose off of turn number 4. Luckily, there's a lot of space behind him and Sheen. And the 70 will retain that spot for now, as you see right there, the 156 just moved up the racetrack. Here comes the 2. Really surprised to see the Brandon Wilkinson fading just a slight, even though he's on newer tires. Then that number 2, Mulrooney, but I guess Mulrooney has the line nailed down, and he's catching Brandon Wilkinson very slightly.
See, Harry Grindle was trying to join this party here and have a little top 4 battle right here. As I'm actually surprised that Mulrooney is able to keep track with that 156 despite his tires being over 30 laps older. And the 85 for that matter. So this is pretty impressive for both Mulrooney and Yost, as they have, yeah, about 20 lap older tires here. So this is quite something to watch.
I think Wilkinson just had a bit of a slip up in 3 and 4 a previous lap, and luckily the 2 of Mulrooney wasn't on that Wilkinson's bumper at the time. That 156 made a mistake, but this caution's going to reset things. And around goes the 82, Brendan Warwas.
So now we'll have to see if Mulrooney decides to pit or if he decides to keep staying out, but with the way he was able to keep up with the 156, I think he might stay out again.
We're going to see what happened to the 82.
He's racing with Poindexter here, and oh, Poindexter got loose, and then around he got hit by the 95. So I don't think that was any payback for earlier, of course, but
seemed like a bit of a accordion effect, because
right.
as soon as Poindexter hit the apron, the 82 Brandon Warwas, he checked up, and unfortunately the 95 of Jackson Hartman was just in the way. And by the looks of it, you have a couple of drivers hitting pit road, but Mulrooney is not one of them. I'm very surprised about that.
Scott Yost staying out as well, so second and third place still staying out on those 40-plus old lap old tires. So this is interesting, as Wilkinson has already clinched the most laps led tonight, so congrats to him for that. Not a lot of lead changes either. I believe there's only been, I think that's it, only 3 or 4 different leaders tonight. That's 156 has just been dominant.
Right. And he's been dominant on these kind of races. Wilkinson won the street stock race at Stafford. I don't know when, but it was a long time ago. He's been in victory lane a couple of times. I actually think he's been in victory lane this season in the super late model. I'll have to check the results about that, but yeah, the 156 of Wilkinson has a history of being in victory lane on these type of tracks, on these type of short tracks.
So time is definitely running out for that one of Carson Poindexter, as with the leaders not pitting, he is still trapped 1 lap down, back in 13th.
Right.
So not only does he need to get his lap back and get to the front, but Mulrooney also needs to slip back a couple positions. So while all hope is not lost, there's also only 18 laps to go. So, and with at least one more being under pace, I don't know if there's enough time left for him to possibly get back into it.
What Poindexter has to hope for is the 2 to get into a crash, basically. That's the only way I see this working out for that number 1, Carson Poindexter. Poindexter, of course, now trapped 1 lap down. He's not going to gain any spots. Well, actually, he's going to gain at least 1 spot over the 82 Brendan Warwas. There he is. He's also 1 lap down, but that means Poindexter's going to have to fight with the 82 Brendan Warwas for this lucky dog.
And with him having an 18X right now, he cannot afford any more contact with anybody. So if he, like I said earlier, if he were to use the bumper at all, he can't do it now because that bumper might end up giving him a disqualification.
Right.
So he's really going to have to work for it now.
iSCAR's in, and we'll see when Brandon is going to hit the throttle. They're going to stack it up, and green flag is out. And Wilkinson with a nice jump over the 2. Mulrooney and just about pinched down Scott Yost in the 85. Harry Grindle now rolling out the top side. He has fresher tires in the 85. Scott Yost. Yost washes up the track. The 70 had to pull himself up the track to prevent contact. They're still side by side at the front stretch, but the top two is now pulling himself away. Oh!
Sheen's gonna save it.
Wow! Another great save.
That's like the third or fourth great save we've seen tonight here. This is something I'm loving this. This is like a lot of great saves we've seen from a lot of different drivers. As just under 15 laps to go now, so the clock is definitely ticking for Carson, but he has gotten in front of that 82. So if a caution were to come out, he will be back on the lead lap.
At 69 is Seth Hood starting a bit of a jam up. That 79 of William Schmidt has really nowhere to go. Washed up the racetrack, near contact there with Sheen and Schmidt. And you see the 96 Brandon Sampson, even though he's on the lead lap, he's fighting with a car that's one lap down. So close between these two.
There's Liam.
Oh! That might be a disqualification for Carson Poindexter. Yup.
There he
wow.
goes. And that's going to give the championship to Aaron Mulrooney. So Aaron can relax a little bit and probably, relax his muscles or whatever. Relax
breathe
his
a sigh of
brain,
relief.
This championship is now his.
Wow.
So while there are 11 laps to go, with Carson now disqualified, your champion in the Super Late Model Series will be that 2 of Aaron Mulrooney. So a huge congrats go out to him, as he has suffered a lot of heartbreak in the other series here in iSCAR, as Chicagoland proved to be the end of his Cup chase and his Grand National chase, but here tonight, he will finally prevail and walk out of here a champion and at least $10 richer.
Right, and that has to feel great, knowing that Poindexter's not going to be breathing on your shoulder anymore. Now he could go ahead and, fight for the win without any problem. He could become, $15 richer. Right.
And I don't think he has a lot of incident points either, so...
Right, only 4x.
He can go all out with this if he wanted to, but... Like I said, he's already got the championship locked up, so at this point it's just whether he wants $5 more or if he's 10, but... We both know what he would rather have.
Yeah, of course, $15. I wouldn't be surprised to see the 2 of Mulrooney all over that 156 of Brandon Wilkinson. Even though he's on older tires, you bet that 2 is going to be as aggressive as he can. Mulrooney actually, the last time he pit was only for 2 tires. So
the 2 tires he didn't take last time have got to be at least 60 plus laps old.
Right.
Well, he might go over half the race on 2 of his tires, which is really, really impressive. Especially with him running in second place like that. Because the car in front of him's got 4 relatively fresh tires, as does all the cars behind Scott Yost. So really, really good tire conservation by both of those guys that they're still up here competing for the win.
As time by, we will see a 1 to go. Gonna just stack him up 2 by 2, and Brandon Wilkinson, the man who's just about led most of this race, go ahead and lead it to the green, and he's in a great spot to win this one and be $5 richer.
Yeah, I wish the finish for the championship wasn't that anticlimactic, but it is what it is, and as the pace car comes back down pit road, we will go back green with just 6 laps remaining in the Super Late Model Series season.
Scott Yost trying to put the pressure on the 2 of Mulrooney as they scoot down onto the back straightaway, still side by side for that 3rd place. Oh, the 70 got put into the wall by the 85. Terry Grindle, he wants to get back at Scott Yost. Right.
He's gonna have to work much harder. Now Grindle's trapped on the outside, so this might, as he's just blinked for a minute there, as Trexler with the preferred line looks to get him here for 4th, probably out of this turn. And here comes Schmidt as well. And whoa, and he's in the wall again.
Laps time by 4 laps to go for Brandon Wilkinson. Watching this side-by-side battle for 4th place as William Schmidt's trying to peek around 2 cars at once. Some
It's
cars
really
on the wall
tight.
in the background.
Yeah, Schmidt just got really tight out of the turn, lost a bit of momentum, but just 3 more laps to go for that 156. So Brandon Wilkinson hitting all the marks he needs to, as is that 2 car, and now we've just got 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go. If a caution were to come out, we would go into green-white checkered status.
We do 3 of them here, but I don't think we're going to need them.
Right.
And out of turn 4, the white flag, oh my goodness, the white flag will fly on the Super Late Model Series season here for Brandon Wilkinson. And down the backstretch they go for the final time with Mulrooney close behind. And Wilkinson will come out of turn 4 and win the Super Late Model race here at 5 Flags and pick himself up $5. And Aaron Mulrooney Jr. is your iSCAR Super Late Model Series champion. Congratulations to that whole 2 team on a really hard-fought and well-earned title.
Definitely, and that has to feel great for Mulrooney. Again, you mentioned it earlier, got eliminated from the playoffs in the Cup and I think Truck Series. No, Cup and Grand National Series. And Wilkinson, your winner here tonight. The 2 Mulrooney. Gonna burn it down on the front stretch. What a season for that number 2. There's Wilkinson right in front of your screen, sort of hiding in the distance. And you see Mulrooney right there in front of your screen. Great job to both of those drivers. Mulrooney's doing parade laps around. Been in victory lane twice this whole entire season. Picked up his first win at the USA International Speedway. Picked up his second, actually last week, at New Hampshire, and now Mulrooney is going to go ahead and burn it down on the front stretch.
I'm really happy for Aaron. Like I said earlier in the show, with the heartbreak he's had in the other chases, this one must feel really, really special now, given those circumstances. So
Right.
I would burn that thing down till it's out of gas.
See, 156 of Brandon Wilkinson, sort of spoiling the party, but he wants to do burnouts as well, and, you know, whatever.
Well, I guess if there's any time you want to run into somebody on the track, it's while you're both doing burnouts, so
Right.
congrats to the 2 of them, as they'll both walk out of here with some cold hard cash tonight. So
We'll
that
be
was a
right
pretty
back.
good race.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be right back right after this. The iSCAR Super Late Model Series 5 Flag is 110. Be right back, interviewing the top 3 and the champion. We welcome everybody back here live for the iSCAR Super Late Model Series 5 Flags 110. Gonna go ahead and drag in the top 3 for interviews, and congratulations to Brandon Wilkinson for the win. And not only that, congratulations to Aaron Mulroney coming out as the champion here tonight. We're going ahead and drag in our winner of tonight's race. Into the booth goes the 156 of Brandon Wilkinson, and man, you had a strong car up front, and you led the majority of the race, and you come up top, man. Congratulations. What you have to say after tonight?
Just really happy for my guys. This is probably one of the biggest races of my career. Glad we could take it home for the boys at Cape Cod Birdhouses. Everybody at Race Car Engineering, Epic Media, everybody worked so hard on this thing all day and thrashed on this thing to get it better. And I think we were kind of the car to beat there. I was getting a little nervous through the mid portion of the race there, but it all turned out lucky for us tonight.
Yeah, definitely, man. You elected on with 4 tires last time. Compared to 2 tires, looks like 4 tires seem to be a call.
Yeah, just a great call from Ty Canals over in TeamSpeak. He made the right call to put the right stuff on the car, and he put the right tire prep on it tonight, and we were able to go to the front pretty fast. So I got to thank old Spears baby up in the old stand, Fish and Salty Hooks. Guy did a great job. Just once again, everybody on the team, Josephine Schaefer, Kevin J. Myers, Stan Bragg at Port City Race Cars, Tommy Burns, Tyler M., Drew Krybeck from Epic Media, Salty Hooks, Race Car Engineering, everybody that worked so hard. Glad we could get the win, and everybody at Cape Cod Birdhouses. Those guys are the best. Go check them out.
All right, man. 10-4 Brandon Wilkinson rounds himself on top here at the 5 Flag Speedway.
Oh,
Well,
I shouldn't forget the guy that was on the car, Mo's Moving, Don Parsons out of Rhode Island. Yeah, that's cool.
all right, man. 10-4 Brandon Wilkinson on top after 110 laps. We'll go ahead and see you around later in the week, man.
Oh, we'll be there.
And that was Brandon Wilkinson in the 156. We'll go ahead and drag in the number 2 of Aaron. And Dewey, go ahead and take this one.
All right, Aaron, you got a copy?
I do have a copy.
Congratulations, man. You are an iSCAR champion despite all the heartbreak from the Grand National and Cup Series. You walked away with $10 in a championship. How does that sound?
It sounds pretty good. Our number 2 Sim Performance Group Super Late Model was pretty good throughout the entire race. We fell back on a couple starts, but I enjoyed the race overall. It was action-packed for sure, and I'm just, happy to come out in second place. Congratulations to Brandon Wilkinson on the win, and yeah, I'm just very happy to have won a championship in iSCAR.
Yeah, we saw you take 2 tires on one of those mid-race restarts along with that 85 of Scott Yost, and I was just really impressed that you guys were able to stay up there for as long as you did. Was the car just that good, or did you think it's some luck in there?
I really liked how the setup was, I was practicing earlier today, and I was just, able to figure out what was able to work in the long run, where I had to run in the short run, and it was just basically, a lot of practice helped me finish where I could secure the championship.
Yeah, and you were battling early on with Carson, but unfortunately ended up being disqualified. Overall, how was your car despite everything that did happen besides the setup stuff?
I liked the car tonight. It was pretty good. There was a little bit of issue off the corner. It got a little bit tight, but you just eventually had to adjust your line for it and just adapt to the conditions and adapt to the racing, and got second place. So I'll definitely take it.
Well, second place was all you needed for tonight. Before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank here for tonight and for?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting tonight. I'd also like to thank Splash and Go Graphics for making this car look amazing, since we won the championship. I'd also like to thank Sim Performance Group and Commonwealth Stain Painting Professionals.
All right, man. Your Super Late Model Series champion, Aaron Mulroney, finishing second tonight and picking himself up $10. Hope to see you back for the rest of the week at all the Homestead races.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too.
Number 2 of Aaron Mulroney. We'll go ahead and drag in, not the 85 of Scott Yost, because he's currently not in the waiting room as of right now. We'll go ahead and drag in the number 79 of William Schmidt. Hey, Schmidt, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, congratulations on your 4th place finish. You started all the way back in 19th. How'd you work yourself to the front?
Yeah, I guess throughout the various wrecks at the beginning of the race, I just kind of, I don't know, moved my way up there somehow. I thought a lot of people were in the back were wrecking, but I guess it was all in the front.
All right, man, for you to round yourself out 4th, you're 6th in the championship point standings. I don't know where he'll come out. Maybe 3rd, even. I don't know where Perry finished either. But Schmidt, to round yourself 4th in tonight's race and tonight's finale, what does it mean?
It's pretty awesome. I wasn't really planning on running the full season anyhow, so a top 10 in points is pretty cool.
All right, man. 10-4. William Schmidt gonna round himself out 4th after starting all the way in 19th. Before we let you go, man, any sponsor want to thank here for tonight?
Yeah, of course I want to thank my sponsors, Motorsport United and Side Drafting Productions, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. 10-4. William Schmidt rounds himself out in 4th. Go ahead and see you coming around for the weekend, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get used to saying or not saying see you next week anymore until the summer.
Right.
We're at the end of the season now, so. Well, Scott Yost is in the waiting room now,
there he
so we
is.
can. Yeah, he joined during Williams' interview, so now we can drag in our 3rd place finisher here tonight.
I suggest you go take that one away since I got Schmidt.
All right, Scott, got a copy?
I do.
So you have had back-to-back 3rd place finishes last week at New Hampshire and here tonight. So how was your car overall tonight?
It was pretty good. The setup was pretty good. Practice went well earlier. I felt like I was going to be in at least the top, maybe 8. But I ran pretty good, I thought.
So obviously we all know now that you will be sponsoring this series here next season. So how does this momentum help you carry yourself into next season, especially with your name as a title sponsor?
I love both these cars. I love the super late model and I love the late model. So I'm looking forward to the May series. I think that's the late model, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a Ziggy question, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking forward to those. I don't know. I kind of run those in practice a lot by myself. So I'm looking forward to it. And this has been a great series and it's run great. Run well by a great group of guys. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank here for tonight?
I gotta thank Thomas Grau. He paints some of my cars for me, and then my uncle, who is an avid fan, Charles Anderson out of Elma, Michigan, and just my family. I had a couple cousins, Audra and her son Derek, and her husband watching tonight, so I appreciated all that.
Awesome stuff, man. Scott Yost rounds himself out in 3rd place tonight and will sponsor our series here next season. So congrats and thank you for that, and hope to see you the rest of this weekend.
Good deal, T4.
Got Yost, and yeah, I think that'll all be all our interviewees here for tonight. Dewey, what you think of tonight's race, man?
Well, I'll go even broader than that. I think this whole season was a really exciting season.
Right.
A lot of the races seems to trend towards a lot of earlier race incidents and then a longer green flag run towards the end, which we did see a little bit of tonight. But speaking more specifically for tonight, it was pretty intense. Even with Carson being disqualified with about 12 to go, it was still a really hard-fought race. And even though he came up short, he definitely put it all on the line. So it was a really fun race to watch, and I'm glad we got a really good champion and a really good winner out of it.
That being said, for the iSCAR Super Late Model Series 5 Flags 110, my name is Zeke Reyes. We're hopefully going to see you guys come toward the weekend, of course. We're going to be broadcasting the finale for the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series. So, yeah, my name is Zeke Reyes.
And I'm Dewey Schramm. Thank you for tuning in and help making our first broadcast here at MSTV a success. And like Ezekiel said, be sure to come back here for the rest of this weekend for our Homestead Trio.